So I think we are live for this week's Akashic Soul Wisdom Show, where I'm so delighted to be introducing you all to that amazing and inspiring Lucy brand. And we're going to be talking about the importance of clearing all our trapped emotions so that we can really create extraordinary results in our business. So I'm just going to check that we are live. Yes, we are. Fantastic. So as you're joining, please do comment, do ask us some questions. And if you're watching the replay, type #replay. Lucy and I will come back to answering those questions. So I'm going to let the lovely Lucy introduce herself and tell us a little bit about briefly what you do.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for having me, Natasha. I've been looking forward to this for months now, actually. I'm Lucy Brand, and I'm the founder of Business Goddess Awakening and also the Sensual Club. And I support female leaders in releasing trapped emotions and really going to the next level in their business and with success. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's nice and succinct. And yes, you do. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to be doing what you do, because I know your story is pretty interesting and it's taken some, shifts along the way and getting to what you're actually doing and how you explore this stuff with people, with business women, and unlocking that. So tell us a little bit about how
so it was kind of a combination of things, which I think it always is, isn't it? Business evolves as your life evolves, it evolves with you. So I guess it started with my previous business, which was digital marketing. I used to work as a digital marketing expert for women. And I realized that it was never about the marketing plan. It was always about mindset and confidence and self-belief. And then with my own personal healing journey, where I experienced a traumatic burglary in my 20s. And through that healing journey, I worked on my mind, but also on my body and my energetic to really shift the trauma from it. So there's that as well. And then the third thing was because of the trauma from the burglary, about 3 years into my marriage, I started to experience intimacy problems where my body would shut down, I guess because it felt unsafe. Even though everything was fine and, I wanted to make love. So I went on an exploration because I wanted to sort this out.
Yeah.
And that's where I discovered more about vibration, but in particular, the powerful creative life force energy, or our sexual energy, in manifesting what we want.
And it's so interesting, isn't it? Because we are such whole beings. I often say it that when we're looking at working on our business, we cannot ignore the other things that are going on in our life. And if we are, having intimacy problems around sexuality and how we show up in our relationships, it's going to affect our business. So we have to be willing to look at these things and show up in all ways, right?
Definitely. And I think that's the thing that almost like the mission I'm on is to educate, particularly women, because I work with women and I do a lot of womb healing and yoni healing. But if your womb is unhappy, if your heart's unhappy, if your yoni's unhappy, if your yoni's depressed, that's actually a thing. It's going to be showing up in your business, whether that's calling in the clients, calling in the income, booking speaking engagements. It's all having an impact on your business and ultimately your bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I often find as well that when I shift something in a different area of my of my life, and I know you've helped me a little bit with looking at different angles around my own relationship at the moment and how that has really just impacted my business without me really working on my business. Someone says, hello, both, great topic. Great. Just give us your name. We can't see your name because we're doing this through a different platform. So just let me know who's watching. It's a really fascinating conversation. I'm very excited to be having this. But yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? How we need to be looking at all areas, and especially our own sexuality and how we show up in relationships. So yeah.
Definitely. And I think the other thing is I did a course last year on love and money. Because the two things are so interlinked. Like, it is basically love and money. And once you harness the power of both of those and release the trapped emotions and trauma from past relationships and money, that's when you can really up level in your business. Because your business is just a relationship with yourself, basically.
Yes, absolutely. And we've got to love our business, right? That's why we're all in the Facebook group and your clients are doing what they're doing, just because we want to do what we love doing. So if we are blocked in love in another area, it's going to show up in the business. So this is making just so much sense as we're talking, and I'm sure it is to everyone. Hi, Amina. Great. Lovely to have you here. So tell me a little bit more about the whole business side and how you work with clients around that and what you've done.
Yeah, so for example, this morning actually I had a client where she's been doing all the mindset work, affirmations, you name it, but it's just not shifting for her. And what we came to was several years ago she rented out her house, and it was the tenants. There was like a bit of trouble. They left all the stuff in the house. They didn't pay the rent. There was bills racked up. And that was actually impacting her confidence in asking for investment with her clients. So saying to her clients, with this amount of money to work with me. It was all impact and layered in. And so we had to clear all that money stuff so that she could feel confidence in her prices, in asking people to invest in her services. And that was, a personal experience that happened years ago around money. And then it's the same with love as well, because ultimately we're in a relationship with ourselves. That's what it all comes down to.
Yes. Gotta love ourselves.
Exactly. And I always talk about energy flow. And every time a woman comes to me, the first session, we always have to sort the energy flow out from her heart. So we give from the front and we receive in the back of the chest. Yeah. And so what normally happens with women is we give, but then we forget the energy flow that has to come back into the back. And so what we need to make sure is that we channel that back into us. So we receive our own self-love, basically. It comes back through the heart, out the front of the chest, and back round again into your back. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you start channeling some of that self-love back in, energetically, you raise your vibration, which means that you can then see all the amazing opportunities, and you start attracting the clients that you want to work with, the opportunities, whether they be speaking or magazine, PR, whatever it might be. And that's in a nutshell kind of how it works.
Wow, that's so incredible. That's such a powerful image, actually, because that's so true, isn't it? And I'm very visual and I see how the energy of things work. I've never really seen it in that sense, that obviously as women, so many of us, and I know quite a few people in the group, and I know a lot of my clients, and I know myself as well in the past, it's all about giving. And it's, you're right. The chakras at the back are the ones where we are, receiving and propelling us forward. So we need to create that circular, and we're talking at the moment, with my group around, the circular energy of money and of energy and how that circulates. So that is a beautiful image. I really like that. That makes so much sense to me. Yeah,
that's exactly it, because it's all about cycles, isn't it? Everything is in cycles, and us as women work in cycles. Even if you've had a hysterectomy, when I do womb work, I can energetically see where your womb was, and I can do healing on that. So we are cyclical beings, and so it's so important to make sure that whatever we give, some does come back to us. Otherwise you're going to end up depleted and probably serving the people that you don't want to serve.
No, there is so much of that around, isn't there? In this whole giving energy, that we end up attracting people we don't really want to help. We feel obliged to help them. We feel that we should help them, that they need our help. No one else can do it. And actually what we want to be doing is really attracting all those beautiful clients that, resonate to us and that can help us raise our vibration so that we can do more of it. So that's really.
And I think are ready as well. Like that's what, when I'm calling in clients, that's what I ask for: open, ready, and committed. Because they're the people that you want to do the work with, because you know that you're going to get exceptional results for them. And that's why we do the work we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Commitment is, Amina's saying, oh God. Can you see the comments as well, or no? So yes, Amina. Oh God, I get it. So so it's such a beautiful way to look at it, and I know that your sessions are so powerful and so enlightening. And obviously, because when we imagine that healing work is done, we're imagining that we have to be face to face with people. But you've actually been doing lots of this remote healing as well, haven't you, Rover?
Yeah, I have clients around the world, so from South Africa to America to Europe, Australia. It doesn't make a difference if you for me personally, I just need to see your face, and then I can energetically connect with you, and then I'm shown everything I need to see about how I need to heal your body.
Yeah, it's quite phenomenal the way you work, and I absolutely love it. So if anyone is interested, Lucy has got a little bit of an offer at the end, and I highly recommend that you take her up on that. But so tell us a bit about so tell us a little bit about like your tips that you wanted to share today around creating these extraordinary results in your business.
Yeah, so hoping that a lot of you've worked on your mindset already, because that's become quite popular, which is brilliant, and I fully support that, because for me that's like the gateway into what I do. But so then if you're finding that you're really stuck, maybe you've plateaued, you're feeling frustrated, and you're not sure why you're moving forward, you're not getting any momentum in your business, then my first tip to do it yourself is journaling. Because this really helps you to find out what's going on in your subconscious mind, and really helps you to maybe bring up some stuff that you're not even aware of. Once you've written that out, so it would be like, why am I stuck in this situation, or why does this pattern keep repeating? Once you've journaled that out, then I would then burn it. I burn it in a cauldron under a full moon, but that's just me.
Oh, I love that. Unfortunately, I can't. There's nowhere outdoors that I can put a cauldron, but I would love to have somewhere outdoors that I could put a cauldron. But that's brilliant. I love
one.
Say that again.
A portable cauldron.
Walking down the street, let me find somewhere where I can burn my stuff in my cauldron.
Or on holiday, I think it was just on holiday.
I love that idea. My neighbours probably,
Yeah.
But so carry on.
Yeah, just burning it, because it releases it energetically from yourself as well. It kind of cuts the cords, and there's something really satisfying in watching it burn as well. Sometimes it can burn really fast, and that means you're ready to let it go, and other times it can burn really slowly, and you know then that this is something that maybe your mind or your body has been holding on to, because the same way we store trauma in our mind, it's stored in our body and in our energetic field as well, so it releases it on all accounts. The other one is emotional freedom technique, and I'll put a link below, because I've actually got a free resource on this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just in case.
That's EFT, right?
Yeah, EFT, emotional freedom technique, or tapping. This was life-changing for me. It was one of the main healing modalities I used to get myself past the burglary trauma, because it works on a mind, body, and energetic level. And it's really easy. You can do it yourself. My worksheet, you fill in the blanks, so you can't get it wrong.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant, and it's a real gateway into other energetic healing work. So if you really just want to try it yourself. Other than that, there's loads of videos on YouTube on millions of different topics. So that would be my second one. And then
that's great. Yeah.
My third tip is, are we right for time?
Yeah, we're good for time, no problem.
My third tip would then be more on manifesting. So once you've released stuff, it's really important to fill in with what you want. And so with manifesting, that's when I suggest using your creative life force energy, self-pleasure, because then you can set the intention before you start, and you can make it a really beautiful practice, honoring yourself and your body, because the thing is, a lot of women have body shame, or don't know themselves intimately, don't know what they want, can't really connect to themselves. And that makes me really sad, because our bodies are beautiful no matter what size or like where you
Yeah.
come from or anything.
Yeah.
So it really is an act of self-love, self-pleasure, and a joyful one at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. It should be anyway.
Exactly. So if you set the intention before, so something like is my intention to harness the sexual creative force energy to put towards finding a new house or whatever it might be that you would like to call
So
it.
you link it with what you want to create, yeah?
Yeah. So basically, what you're doing is you're asking the universe for what you want. So let's say I've done it before where I've manifested 15K like out of nowhere. Yeah.
I'd
So it
like
definitely does work. But so I'd ask, some money, like a set amount of money, and then I would hand it over to the universe. And the point is that you set the intention, but you release attachment. That's the dance that we play with the universe when we want to manifest something. And it's really important that you release attachment, which you can do when you're self-pleasuring because you're not really thinking about it anymore.
I'm writing notes. I hope everyone else is too. I'm scribbling things down. I'm going to come back and listen to this again. Carry on.
And then I just say that I want to honor my sexual energy and for this to be towards that goal. And then self-pleasure, and then at climax, afterwards, I just imagine the energy shooting out from me from the top of my crown chakra, that's it, up into the air. And there it is, it's gone into the universe. And then depending on what it is, like afterwards in that bliss state that you're in that high vibe bliss state, which is when you might be inspired to reach out to someone, or you might be inspired to send that email or check that thing, or that kind of thing. Those nudges from your intuition, that's what you're listening for. And then when the nudges come in, sometimes I visualize as well. If perhaps it is a new house, because that's on my mind at the moment. If it's a new house, then I imagine what the house would look like, how I would feel in that house. Or if it's a lover you want to invite in, same thing. How would you feel lying next to them now? Like, your skin all tingly, like their energy with you. Maybe you go for breakfast, brunch, and really use that visualization, because there's that part of our brain called, I think it's the reticular articulating system, which doesn't know what's a false memory and what's a true memory.
Yeah.
And this is why visualization works so well. So if you can combine visualization, when you're in that vibration of bliss and high, you're not coming from a place of wanting or needing, and that's where it can get murky in the law of attraction and manifesting. You're coming from a place of high vibe. You're open, you're ready to receive the nudges, the money, whatever it might be, and you're in this bliss state and you set the intention, then that's it. Then it will just...
Oh, wow. I do love that. So if anyone's got any questions about that, please type it in the chat box. If those of you are watching, and if you're watching the replay, type #replay and let us know your questions, because I'm really curious about what people are thinking right now. So I know I've got lots of things going on in my brain, but and that's it, isn't it? It's about listening to the nudges. It's about listening to the intuition. And this is the bit that I feel that so many people miss. And this is what I teach as well. I'm not bang on about anyone. My client will know that it's like, oh, Natasha will like that because she's talking about taking inspired action. But it's so true, isn't it? And we've got to listen to those nudges, because that's how we then create out into the physical. But I love this idea of being sensual and sexual with ourselves. And so I just wonder if you've got any tips for those people who might be listening that really struggle with that self-intimacy, about how to create maybe a bit of space around that. I know that a lot of women don't like to self-pleasure, that feel a certain amount of shame around that in itself. So I just wonder if you've got anything to add for those people that might think, oh, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, definitely. So my first thing would be is tune in to why you don't want to. And then if it is shame, which it is, I deal a lot with, especially around love, sex, relationships, so much shame that we need to clear. Then I would look at just tapping, EFT, tapping on that. Like it's on a scale, and I found when I was struggling with intimacy with my husband, I think the one thing that was quite bad was we never really talked about it. It was like an elephant in the room we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
And it just got a bit weird. But there was loads of resources out there, but some of them a lot of them were American, Australian. I couldn't really find anyone English, and they were very forthcoming. I don't know how much I can say, but like they were very forthcoming with their language and
right.
What's the word?
Go on, say it.
Like they would say pussy a lot and things like this. And it's not my language. And also I was in this state of shutdown where intimacy was a problem. So I wasn't there with with sex and self-pleasure, I was just like, what's wrong with me?
And remembering we are British after all,
Exactly. So I had to find out where I fitted on that scale in that moment, and it definitely wasn't in the self-pleasure, yoni eggs, all of yoni wands, all of that.
Yeah.
It's been a process to get there, and that's okay. But I think if it's something that you are interested in, but it's just a bit weird for you at the moment, then I would start with try tapping out some of the shame or some of the reasons around it. Or if you struggle with that, then I would say reach out to a practitioner. It doesn't have to be me or you or anyone, but like a professional who could help you kind of move through some of this. Because the results are, as you said before, it impacts every area of your life. It won't be just your love life. It will be your business, your relationships, everything.
Yeah, totally. Thank you for that. And yes, you did hear right, Amina. We are talking about self-pleasure here. So I think another question that quickly pops into my mind is around, can we do this manifesting process? Is this better to do with ourselves, as in only self-pleasure, or is this something we can also create when we're in an intimate moment with our partners?
Yeah, definitely. Because the power of creation from two people or more is huge. Like, even if from meditation, if you all come into meditation or you all vision something or visualize something. So yeah, it would be the same thing. Set the intention, and then the creative life force energy, the sexual energy from that intimacy, dedicate that and the practice to what you'd like to manifest. It doesn't have to just be you, but I always believe in putting your own oxygen mask on first.
Oh my goodness, what a fascinating conversation. And it's so true. You're creating this intention around what you want to create that has nothing to do with relationships, but you're using this, as you say, the energy, the vital force energy from that sexual energy, and creating that to put it out to the universe. I love that. And just the image of it alone, the visualization of it, you can see immediately how powerful that really can be.
If you think of goddess energy, that's why my business is Business Goddess Awakening, because it's about awakening the goddess within, and that's about love. It's about abundance, health, wealth, all of those things, and activating them. And with the creative life force energy, we create life from that. So it's the most powerful thing. And whether you're creating life or you're creating a business or a project or clients, it's all the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anyone's got any questions before we wrap up, pop them in the chat box now. But yeah, Lucy, I know you've got a couple of things that you want to share with the community here. So please just let people know, and we'll put any links in the post when we put this live, when this goes live up on the feed. But yeah, tell us what you have to offer.
Thank you. Yes. So
get in touch.
If you'd like to know more from me, or you're intrigued, then I have a Facebook group called the Sensual Supper Club, which is for female leaders, industry disruptors, and business women it's to help you get in touch with your sensual side, but also it's just things around business in there and everything. And the other thing is, at the moment, in this great time of change that's kind of going on, I'm offering goddess support sessions, one-off sessions for 60 minutes, which I wouldn't normally do. It's normally containers to work with me. And they are at £87 at the moment, which I think will be on this month, but I'm not sure about next month. And you can find them on my website, www.lucy-brand.com.
Cool. And we'll put the link in the comments box when we finish this interview. But I have to say those sessions are incredible with Lucy. And if this is in any way resonant to you, to take advantage of that before the end of May, I would highly, highly recommend you take Lucy up on her work. She is quite incredible and works in a very, very unique way. So yes, so thank you so much for coming and joining me. I've loved this conversation.
Great
to have more about this. And yeah, but if anyone's got any questions, we'd love to hear from you as well. Love to know your thoughts on it. I think maybe the title should more have reflected what we ended up talking about more of. So, but thank you again. Thanks, Lucy. Thank you everyone for watching. And I'll be back next week for the Akashic Soul Wisdom Show every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.